Welcome, UPSC aspirant, to your daily dose of current affairs. This is the Deep Dive.
And today we're looking into the key events from April 29th, 2025. This is part one.
That's right. Some of these topics might be fresh, others might be a bit of a recap, a good revision maybe.
Our goal, as always, is to pull out those crucial insights to help you stay ahead in your preparation.
Okay, let's get right into it. First up, something from the world of finance. Bond markets.
Yeah, there's been some discussion, particularly around how political talk in the U.S., specifically regarding the Fed's independence, can, well, ripple outwards.
Ripple outwards, so affecting global markets.
Exactly. Investor sentiment is sensitive stuff, and it impacts bond markets everywhere, India included.
Right. So, okay, maybe a quick refresher for everyone focusing on the economy section. What is a bond market, basically?
Sure. Think of it as, well, a marketplace. It's where debt securities, essentially IOUs from governments, companies, institutions, get bought and sold.
IOUs, okay. And bonds, they're different from stocks because they promise a fixed return, right? The face value back after a certain time.
Precisely. That fixed return element generally makes them, safer than jumping into equity. People use them for hedging risk or just parking value.
Safer, okay. But there's that inverse relationship we always hear about. Bond yields and market prices, they move in opposite directions. Why is that?
Yeah, that catches people sometimes. Basically, if lots of people want to buy a certain bond, they'll pay more for it. That pushes the price up.
Okay.
But since the payout at the end is fixed, if you pay more upfront, your effective return, the yield, actually goes down.
Ah, I see. So high demand, high price, lower yield. And the opposite if prices fall.
Exactly. If prices fall, the yield goes up to attract buyers. It compensates for perceived risk or lower demand. Understanding that dynamic is key.
Got it. And then there's inflation, always looming. How does that mess things up for bondholders?
Well, inflation is the big enemy of fixed returns. If prices in the economy are rising faster than the bonds yield, your real return, what you can actually buy with the money, shrinks.
It eats away at the value.
Right. It can even turn negative in real terms. And that's a big reason central banks step in and raise interest rates, to cool inflation down.
Which then circles back. Higher interest rates make newly issued bonds more attractive, so the price of older, lower yield bonds tends to fall.
You got it. And their yields rise. It's all connected.
So bringing this home to India, why is tracking all this global bond activity so important for you, the UPSC aspirant?
Because the Indian bond market is vital for funding. Government projects, corporate expansion, they rely on it. You need to understand its structure.
Like the primary market versus the secondary market.
Exactly. Primary is for new bonds, GSECs, corporate bonds, even things like green bonds or masala bonds. Secondary is where existing ones, like treasury bills, get traded.
And regulators, RBI and SEBI split duties.
Correct. RBI for government bonds, SEBI for corporate ones. The key takeaway for you is seeing how global events, like political shifts in the U.S., can impact our financial stability and policy options here. Macroeconomics in action.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's switch gears now. Some positive news, maybe, from agriculture. An RNA-based antiviral.
Yes, this is quite interesting. It's targeting the Cucumber Mosaic Virus, or CMV, and considering plant diseases cause huge losses globally.
How huge are we talking?
Well, plant viruses alone, over $30 billion annually. And the mosaic virus group is nasty. It attacks plants right at the molecular level, spreads easily, affects loads of crops.
And this specific one, CMV, it's not just cucumbers, is it?
Oh no, far from it. Cucumbers, melons, eggplant, tomatoes, carrots, lettuce. The list is long. Even cereals and medicinal plants. It's spread mainly by aphids.
Aphids, okay. And in India, it's a significant problem.
Definitely. It causes major yield losses. Think 25–30% in bananas and sometimes up to 70% in certain vegetables. It's a big threat.
Wow. So this RNA-based approach taps into the plant's own defenses. RNA silencing, you called it.
That's the one. It's a natural defense mechanism. When a virus like CMV infects a cell, it often makes double-stranded RNA, dsRNA. The plant sees this as foreign.
Like a red flag.
Exactly. Special enzymes called dicer-like enzymes, or DCLs, chop this dsRNA into tiny pieces called small interfering RNAs, siRNAs.
siRNAs, like little guided missiles?
Sort of. These siRNAs then guide cellular machinery to find and destroy the matching viral RNA. Stops the virus from replicating. It's the plant's immune system working at the RNA level.
Fascinating. So how are scientists using this? What are the techniques?
Well, there are mainly two routes being explored. One is host-induced gene silencing, or HIGS.
Okay, what's that?
That involves genetically modifying the plant itself to produce specific dsRNA continuously, basically priming its defenses against a particular virus.
Sounds effective, but maybe complex.
It can be. There are costs, regulatory hurdles with GMOs, and the risk that the virus could evolve resistance over time.
Right, so what's the alternative?
The other main approach is spray-induced gene silencing, or SIGs.
6. Spraying RNA.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Spray RNA molecules directly onto the plant leaves. These molecules get absorbed and trigger that natural silencing pathway we talked about.
Ah, so no genetic modification needed.
Correct. It just activates the existing immunity. It's seen as potentially more cost-effective, eco-friendly, though making the sprayed RNA stable and efficient enough is still an area of active research.
This is definitely cutting-edge stuff. For UPSC prep, clearly relevant for ag tech and S&T.
Absolutely. And the environmental aspects, too.
Okay, let's move from plant viruses to computer viruses, metaphorically speaking, cybersecurity. News about the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Centre, I4C.
Yes, a significant development. I4C has now been authorized to share information back and forth with the enforcement director at the ED under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA.
ED. So, following the money trail in cyber fraud.
Precisely. It's about strengthening the fight against cyber fraud by connecting the crime itself with the financial laundering aspects. Allows for a much more coordinated crackdown.
Makes sense. For those needing a reminder, what's the main role of I4C?
It was set up under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Think of it as the national hub, the nodal point for coordinating the fight against all forms of cybercrime.
So its job isn't just investigating after the fact.
No, it's much broader. Curbing cybercrime, especially against vulnerable groups like women and children, making it easier to report crimes, analyzing trends, issuing warnings.
Capacity building too, right? Training police, judiciary.
Yes, that's a big part. Plus research and development in cyber forensics, suggesting legal changes, international cooperation. It's quite comprehensive.
And it has different units within it.
It does. There's a threat analytics unit, the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal everyone can use, a training center, R&D, a platform for joint investigation teams, forensic labs. It's a whole ecosystem.
And initiatives like the 1930 Helpline and CyberDost also fall under it.
Correct. The idea is to have a multi-pronged approach. This link up with the ED adds another powerful tool to their kit. Definitely key for your internal security and governance understanding.
All right, moving from the digital world back to the natural environment, tigers. There's talk of expanding the critical tiger habitat in Suriska.
Yes, it looks likely. This follows a directive from the Supreme Court acting through the Central Empowered Committee, the CEC.
Okay, critical tiger habitat, or CTH. What defines that?
Under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, CTHs are the core areas within tiger reserves. These are scientifically identified as crucial for tiger conservation.
And the key idea is inviolate, right?
Meaning kept free from human activities, human settlements, any kind of disturbance. The goal is to give tigers a secure space, especially for breeding, without negatively impacting tribal rights, which is an important caveat. These core areas are then surrounded by buffer zones.
Buffer zones, where some activity is allowed.
Yes, regulated activities. It acts as a transition area.
And this decision involves the CEC. We've heard about the CEC before. It's like an environmental watchdog.
It started that way, set up by the Supreme Court back in 2002. But recently it's been institutionalized. It's now a permanent statutory body under the Environment Ministry.
Statutory body. That gives it more teeth, presumably. And its composition changed.
It did. The new structure has a chairman, member secretary, and 3 expert members, fields like environment, forests, wildlife, all nominated by the center.
Any notable changes in who's represented?
A key point often mentioned is that NGOs are no longer part of the formal committee structure itself.
Okay. And its main job now, as a statutory body?
Monitoring compliance with environmental laws, making recommendations, investigating complaints, site visits, reporting. Basically ensuring environmental rules are followed. For UPSC, understanding CTH, the Wildlife Act, and the role of bodies like CEC is core environment syllabus.
Definitely. Staying with wildlife, but shifting focus. Hyenas. International Hyena Day was recent, April 27th. They face threats too, don't they?
They do. Hyenas often get misunderstood, just seen as scavengers, but they are complex carnivores playing important ecological roles. And yes, the existing species face pressures.
How many species are we talking about?
There are 4 extant, meaning currently living, species in the family Hyenidae. They are found across parts of Africa and Asia.
Okay, what are the 4 and how are they doing?
You have the spotted hyena, probably the best known. Then the striped hyena, this is the one found in India. Then the brown hyena, and finally the aardwolf, which is quite distinct, mainly eats termites.
And their conservation status, are they endangered?
According to IUCN Red List, spotted hyena is least concern, but numbers are declining. Striped hyena and brown hyena are both near threatened.
Near threatened. So populations are quite low.
For the striped hyena, estimates are less than 10,000 mature individuals globally. Brown hyena might be slightly more, but still near threatened. The aardwolf is least concern, though population data is a bit patchy.
So it's important to look beyond the common perception. They matter for biodiversity.
Absolutely. They are key parts of their ecosystems, important for your environment and ecology prep.
Okay, let's turn to defense tech. The Indian Navy tested the medium-range surface-to-air missile, MR-SAM.
Yes, a successful test firing from INS Surat. This is a significant capability boost for naval air defense.
MR-SAM. What's its main purpose?
It's designed to be a high-response, quick-reaction system. It's vertically launched, supersonic, meant to take out aerial threats, incoming missiles, aircraft, helicopters, you name it.
And this was developed jointly, wasn't it?
Correct. It's a collaboration between India's DRDO and Israel Aerospace Industries, IAI. Production is happening in India by Farhat Dynamics Limited, BDL.
Shows that trend of international defense cooperation. What makes it effective? Key features.
Well, the system includes command and control, tracking radar, the missiles themselves, and mobile launchers. Each launcher can hold, I think, up to 8 missiles in canisters.
Ready to go.
Right. Can fire single shots or ripples. The missile itself is about 4.5 meters long, weighs around 276 kilos. It has advanced seekers, data links, and uses a dual-pulse solid propulsion system developed by DRDO.
Speed and range.
It can hit Mach 2, so twice the speed of sound, and has a range of about 70 kilometers. Importantly, it can engage multiple targets at the same time.
Impressive capability. Crucial for S&T and security sections in the exam.
Definitely. Understanding these defense systems is key.
All right, let's look outwards now. International relations. The Balikatan exercises between the Philippines and the U.S. sounds like a big one this year.
It is. Balikatan means shoulder to shoulder in Tagalog. It's their largest bilateral military exercise. This year, 17,000 personnel involved, simulating a full-scale battle scenario.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Emphasizing the alliance then? Is this new?
Oh no, it's an annual exercise. This is the 40th iteration, actually. Its core purpose is enhancing military interoperability and readiness, underpinning their mutual defense treaty.
So what's special about this 40th edition, besides the scale?
They're doing what they call a full battle test. It mixes real-world forces with virtual scenarios, and the scope covers everything: air, land, sea, space, and cyber domains. The focus is clearly on defending Philippines' sovereignty.
What kind of specific activities are involved?
Things like a logistics operation, practicing resupply over the shore, humanitarian assistance projects, command and control drills, and also a multilateral maritime exercise involving other partners too.
So very relevant for understanding the Indo-Pacific dynamics and strategic partnerships.
Absolutely. Key for your IR and security awareness.
Okay, one more geography-related item. Pakistan has apparently halted its Cholistan Canal project.
Yes, reports indicate a pause on this project. It was part of their wider Green Pakistan initiative, which aims to modernize agriculture with irrigation and tech. This specific canal was meant for the Cholistan Desert region.
Why the halt?
Protests reported in the neighboring Sindh province seemed to be the trigger. The canal intended to irrigate about 1.2 million acres in Cholistan, which is very water scarce.
Cholistan Desert. It's in Punjab, right? Part of the bigger Thar Desert.
That's correct. Southern Punjab, bordering Sindh in India. It's also called Rohi. Historically, it was on trade routes, has old forts like Darawar, mostly sandy, arid climate.
And it used to have a major river.
Yes. Historically, the Hakra River flowed through there. It's often linked to the ancient Saraswati Ghaggar system. So this news touches on geography, water issues, agriculture projects, and regional sensitivities, relevant for geography and environment prep.
Got it. And finally, a fascinating little discovery from the world of biology. A bone collector caterpillar.
Yeah, this sounds like something out of science fiction. Discovered on Oahu in Hawaii, it's a carnivorous caterpillar with a very unique behavior.
Carnivorous caterpillar. And bone collector, what does it do?
It builds a protective case for itself, but instead of just using silk and maybe plant bits, it incorporates parts of its prey like ant heads, fly wings into the silk case.
Wow. Macabre, but effective camouflage or defense maybe. Where was it found?
In an isolated mountain forest on Oahu. Sadly, an area threatened by invasive species. This caterpillar lineage is thought to be quite old, maybe 6 million years.
And what does it eat?
It apparently feeds on insects. It finds caught in spider webs, a very specialized niche.
Amazing adaptation. And
Yeah.
Hawaii itself, a unique place biologically. Volcanic islands, right?
Exactly, a volcanic archipelago formed by a mantle hotspot. Oahu, where Honolulu is one of the main islands. Very diverse landscapes, which leads to unique evolution like this.
And caterpillars in general, just to connect back, they are the larval stage of butterflies and moths. Some are big agricultural pests, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. Think of things like the fall armyworm, cotton bollworm, cabbage looper here in India. They can cause huge damage by munching on crops. So this discovery is interesting for biodiversity, adaptation, invasive species, but also links back to agriculture, relevant for environment, biology, maybe even agri-sections.
Okay, quite a range we've covered today. Let's try and crystallize what this all means for you, the UPSC aspirant.
We've touched on global finance affecting India, biotech solutions in farming, cybercrime coordination, tiger conservation efforts, species status, defense tech, regional military exercises, water projects, and even unique biodiversity.
The key, as always, is seeing the connections. How finance links to policy, how tech links to agriculture and environment, how security has both digital and physical dimensions. We hope giving you this structure, these details, helps build that understanding.
If you found this deep dive useful, do consider liking and subscribing. It helps us keep providing this analysis for your UPSC journey.
Absolutely. And to leave you with something to think about, we saw today how interconnected things are: finance, tech, security, environment. How might this growing interconnectedness, particularly through global markets and digital infrastructure, simultaneously create both new opportunities and new vulnerabilities for India in the years ahead?
That's a good question. How do you leverage the opportunities while managing the amplified risks? Something to keep mulling over as you continue your studies.